opportunity in which they afforded me. So quickly, I just want to impart to you this concept of this idea that you owe someone something. That you're not here because you're special. You're not here because you're any smarter than anyone else. You're here because someone created that opportunity and that space for you to be. And the only thing they ask is for you to be excellent. So just imagine, let's turn back. We're talking about the 60s earlier. And all we know is the history of what people had to face. So you think that they worked tirelessly, that they made those sacrifices for you to sit in the class and not take notes? Do you think that's what they envisioned? Do you think that was their hope and their dream, that you would come here and squander the opportunity that you have by not being excellent? To me, it's a slap in their face. Every time we don't give our very best. When I understood that lesson of how to display my gratitude, then my choices began to line up with what it is that I say I wanted to do. That's when I realized me being successful wasn't just about me, but everything about the people that I may be able to impact and be able to help, and those who are around me. As long as it's just about you, it's easy to mess up, because you don't think it matters to anybody. But when you realize that we're counting on you, when you realize that we're depending on you to be successful, when you realize that we're depending on you to be the ones to find the cure for cancer, when we're depending on you to instruct the next generation of young people, when we know we're counting on you to make the next discovery, then you held to a higher standard, another state of accountability. And we need you. You heard the stats, right? Have you ever looked at the conditions that black males are facing? Have you looked at those numbers? More, African American men are in prison than in college. The leading cause of death between the ages of 16 and 24 of African American males are homicides. Those are the issues that we're facing. But in this space are those who have the answers to fix the problem. And that's what your schooling has to be about. Is how can I change the conditions that I find my community in? And the only way you can do that is by being excellent in what it is that you do. Because you're indebted to those who came before you. You simply cannot let them down. Or what's going to happen, you're going to continue to see the statistics that I talked about earlier. And then you're going to wonder who it is that you're going to be able to marry when everyone is in prison. You're going to be wondering why you have to get bars on your windows and your doors. You're going to wonder why you're not going to be able to feel safe at night. Because nothing has happened or you haven't done your part to change that situation. That's why I'm a big believer in education. Because I believe it gives you the opportunity to think about how you can solve many of these issues. It's not about coming up. It's not about how much money you can make. It's not just about that. It's not just about earning a degree so you can get 22, 24-inch rims on your ride. It's nice to have. Or get the next designer purse, the next Coach bag or Louis bag. It's not about that. It comes with it sometimes. You're able to get those things, but it's not just about material gain. It's about how can you resolve those issues that we're facing. Again, it's not just about you. Even within my role, even with the job that I have, I'm constantly reminding myself. I say this simple prayer every time I wake up in the morning. Say, God, allow me to make a positive impact and a difference in somebody's life today. no matter what I do, no matter what level of success, it all comes down to what impact can I make on somebody's life today that's going to make a difference for them. No less. You have the same choice. How are you going to make somebody's life better? What are you going to do today to make an impact? How is the world going to know that you're present and that you're here? What legacy are you trying to leave? All questions that I remind myself constantly. And it's the same question that you should ask yourself. Quickly, Brother Majati was talking about history. He was asking you some facts. Of course, many of you did not know. History allows you to know what you're capable of doing even if you're unable to see it. If you know that other people did it before you, then you know it's possible. Right now, you're being tricked to believe that being black or being African American is synonymous with being a failure. Because that's the images you see around you. So unless you know we built pyramids, unless you know that we started math, you believe you can't learn math. Because you're black, not knowing that African people with the same blood that you have developed it. So how can you be in your Math 11 or Math 12 class or Math 35 or Math 52 talking about you just don't get it when it's in your blood for the folks who created it? But if you don't know your history, you get caught up in believing what your present situation looks like. That's why it's important to know where you come from and what your people have done, so you can understand the genius that lies within you. With that, we open it up. Go into a little bit of detail about our own kind of school path, our career trajectory. We'll open that up as well. We have questions. This is questions in general about anything that we said or anything that we may have missed. Yes,
So what was that transition for you? You said, you were like young and very around money and stuff like that. How did you get from that to college? How did you just
I saw myself going to jail. I got arrested. No, honestly, I did. I'm at the bus stop. And I don't know if you all ever been back east to the Midwest in the snowstorm when it's cold outside. So I had a 38. Oh, no, 22. Long enough to stuck out of my waistband. They had the front of the coat on. So, they got dark out here. We had the big Ford back in Detroit. It's unmarked car, 2 cops in the back, 2 in front, plain clothes. So they're on the other side. The bus was coming. I'm almost free because the bus, I'm about to go to the bus is over. No, they swoop down right in front because I see the cops. What I do is this. That's my jacket out of the can't see it. That's all they need to see. Next thing I know, this brother get out of the driver's seat for 357 pointing right at me. Talking about don't move. I'm like, look, my bus is coming. I'm about to go. I think my girlfriend hold that. This is sweater. I'm like, man, look, I'm trying to lift the sweater. When I lift my sweater, it's a wrap. Next thing you know, warm bologna sandwiches and orange. In the jail trying to tell my story like, look, yeah, please, I'm a good guy. That was very important. So my father, who passed on now, my father said that he was going to the military. My father didn't go to college. My grandfather did in Detroit. They worked for
GM 4.
And that's right out of high school. So you come out of high school, make it great. So the college, that wasn't his thing. He didn't talk to me about it. He was talking about going to the military. And so when I got out of jail, I had already signed up for the military, but I didn't have left yet. When I got out of jail, before that period of time they used me, time to go to court, on my own for the Congress, I had been arrested for. I went to my recruiter and said, can we speed this up at all? Can I go down? And so I went off to the military as a military police officer. and they gave me a 45. Legally. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. So I left quickly with my Adidas dresses on, and I had an S-curl. My hair turned orange from in the back. And that's what did it for me. Yeah, that's what did it. I got to do something out here.
So you went to the military?
I was in the Army.
And you gone?
I was in the Army. 95 Bravo, Air Sergeant Lee. No, regular stories. We don't do this. Regular.
So I see both of you guys are in organizations, local organizations. I mean, I want to talk on a personal level, but what you guys doing? Is there some type of agenda that you guys have, or something I can see where we can attend some of your events, so I can spread this information?
Well, we have several things we're involved in. The newest thing that we're doing, we just, Brother John, along with 3 other brothers, just released a book. It's called The Plan, A Guide for Women Raising African American Boys from Conception to Combat.
Sure.
And so what we really want to do is really get down to what we think is the core of some of the issues we're facing in raising black boys and changing the trajectory that many of our young men are facing. But part of that book we're launching, and this is where we actually use your help, a national campaign where we're trying to get 1 million black boys to develop a plan for their lives. So whatever goals they articulate, we're creating a template for them to articulate and conceptualize where they 5, 10, 15 years. So about here, 2015, we want 1 million black boys to create a plan between the ages of basically 0 to the age of 24. And you can go on iamaplan.net, and then you